Donald Trump, it is fascinating to me. And the one thing that is really clear, we're seeing the commentariat now dismiss Trump as a story about the cult of personality. What we will hopefully get to is that they will begin to examine the personality of the cult that is supporting him. The reason why Trump is doing so well in the Republican Party is because the conservative soul lusts after the notion of hierarchy. And the Republican Party has taught them that the one hierarchy that really counts in our society is money. If you are poor, you lack morality and drive and just general goodness. And if you are rich, that is an indication of how good a person you are, how you have all the traits that are admirable. So when these chumps get on stage with a billionaire who trumpets his $1 billion+ dollars, they're always going to lose. They're always going to lose. Now, I don't know if Donald Trump is going to be the nominee, but it is funny to watch how this guy, just simply because he's cocky and a billionaire, that's it. He's a glib, cocky guy who also has $1 billion. If he was a glib, cocky guy who didn't have $1 billion, maybe he'd have a radio show.
Yeah.
But he's a glib, cocky guy with $1 billion, so he's leading the polls in the Republican presidential campaign. One thing I'm really enjoying, sort of the data crunchers on this. It is fun to watch at 438, and I have a lot of respect for Nate Silver and what they do over there. 538. It's fun to watch them slowly back up in the way that they're doing it. If you go and you look up their coverage of Trump, it's been quite funny. And it's a great example of how data doesn't always tell you the whole story. Because when they start to go into other areas where there's more variables than they can control, they run into problems. Trump's going to be a flash in the pan. Here's why Trump's going to be a flash in the pan. His favorables are really low. And then 2 months later, well, his favorables are up. And then 5 days ago, it's Trump versus Fox, writes Nate Silver. That's why Trump's going to be in trouble. And now 5 days later, we see that actually no. Fox capitulates to Trump. But Nate Silver still comes out. Well, just because he's leading the polls doesn't mean that he's going to win. The one thing we can definitively say now is he's definitely not going to win. Well, you got better odds than anything else you've predicted to say he's not going to win because theoretically, right, he's got a 1 in 17% chance. A 1 in 17, chance. Whatever that breaks down in terms of percentage-wise. But now they're just like, we're just going to stake our opinion. He's not going to win. Well, that's not that. You're not really going on a limb there, bud. The other limbs you've had have been sawed off. So it's interesting to watch the failure of data crunchers to get this. And that is because they fundamentally, those people who have not been able to look with clear eyes as to who the Republican Party is, what they have become, what they espouse, and think it's just the Todd Akins. No, it's not. The idea that the Republican Party's not taking policy seriously enough, give me a break. They're pretend policy gurus like, I can't even remember his name now. So Paul Ryan.
Oh, right.
Anybody who actually crunches numbers knows what he puts out is a joke. They don't vote that way, folks, because they've been trained not to. They don't care about good government because government's the problem, good or bad.